So I hope you all can hear me. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Welcome to the first, not the only, but the first Advisory Legacy Council Foundations Showcase. So in a moment, we'll bring up one by one today's special guests. At the same time, I do want to acknowledge everybody who is currently also a guest. So everybody from Richard George to Nee Kim to Dr. Barrett Matthews to Charlotte Hago or Ago, I'm not sure, Michelle Wilson, the mompreneur, Melody Diaz. I'm going through Mark Borrow and Raina, as well as everybody, and Christopher, I forgot to mention you, and everybody who's joining as we are now going live, because we are starting just a few minutes early. And as I mentioned, today is very special, and we invite you to please feel absolutely free to let us know where you're from, and also to chime in with questions as we move forward. We have a little bit of a structure to it in the beginning and in the end. And then in between, we'd really want to be able to provide you with what you need. You may be thinking about opening a foundation. You may have one. You may want to give advice. You may want to ask questions. You may also want to collaborate with some of the amazing guests that we're highlighting today. So put all of that in the chat, and there will be a time also when we all are able to communicate with one another. Okay, please also be aware we are live on YouTube, and yes, this will be shared globally across all major platforms. I do want to take a moment to introduce the other person sitting, depending on how you look at it, to my right or to my left, and that is Ashkan Tabibnia, the legacy architect and also, of course, the visionary of 90210 Network and 90210 Advisory Legacy Council. Ashkan, would you want to welcome everybody as well really quickly?
Yeah, absolutely. It's a beautiful day because we decided how do we showcase people who went beyond. They have already achieved certain success in their own businesses, corporations, and they really step up into their mission, and they took their mission and they made it into a foundation, and they are serving the world in that cause, whether it's the local or it's national or international. Today is a very nice day to make it personal. You guys gonna hear and gonna see the interview with Natalie and some of these world experts, and also not just get to know them, you will also understand how they started and how they're expanding and how they are combining their cause, example with United Nations and other foundations, right? So how they're creating a win-win scenario, like an ecosystem that everybody wins, and they're going to share nuggets. So make sure you take notes. This video going to be provided later. It's not just another conference. I believe foundation, it's the ultimate way for everyone that like to give, like to be entrepreneur. That's a very safe and a wonderful way for them to do. And vice versa, when you have a right cause, when you have a right mission and vision, all the people around the world, they have an opportunity to come and participate, whether they're going to come with their backing, supporting donations, or their time or their resources. So it's really a beautiful day to understand about this wonderful idea of foundation, how to start, how to continue, how to expand, and how to collaborate. And no one's better by Dr. Natalie Forrest. If I want to introduce her, it's going to take a while, but usually they call her the rule breaker, and she's a published author, speaker. She's a coach. She's my amazing partner, and also she's our chief host. The reason she has been with numerous publications and medias all over the world. She was the VP of Los Angeles Tribune and many others. And you guys are in a good hand today with somebody that cares, and it doesn't just like to interview. Really, what she's going to do, she's going to bring the best out of everyone, what they do, and bring it all home. So back to Natalie.
Okay, the bar is set. I'm going to try and reach it and jump. And in order to jump, I want to jump right into our first foundation. Not just our first foundation, but also our first global foundation. And I could now read out a long biography of this lady. It is long because the accomplishments are long. When we're talking legacy, when we're talking experience, when we're talking vision, the one name, at least I think in Germany, in Europe, and in places like the African continent, this name is already very well known, and we can only expand on that because of the importance that this person brings to everything that she does. And of course, if you're not sure who I'm talking about, and the people in the back are waiting, it is, of course, Miss Astrid Arendts, the one and only. And, she does say for the planet. So, Astrid, I can say a lot of things about you, especially looking at your bio, and because I had the pleasure of meeting you in person just about 2 weeks ago. But we really
It was wonderful to see you. Yes, and to celebrate the Golden Planet with you.
See, you're already getting
Wonderful.
to the Golden Planet. Yes. So, Astrid, would you like to tell us a little bit about who you are? What is your dream? What gets you up in the morning?
Yes, very interesting questions. Yes. When I stand up in the morning, I say to me, I will give my best this day. This is my day. It is a new chance to go in connection with other people, to make a good job, yes, with my organization. And yes, I will give my best in all ways, with my family, with all people around me. And I say, I'm a little bit older than some people here in the round, but I say I will need the time. I will need every minute in my life for to do good things, for to have good idea, for to have yes, I want to create my day. Yes, I want to go my own way. Many people say to me, you are different from others. Yes, unorthodox, unconventional, a little bit crazy. Yes, but I like it to go the way in my own rhythm. Yes, and yes, something a little bit crazy, but I like it. Yes, and
yes.
I have found a man on my side which love all these things. Yes, he don't know what I do in some minutes, but he like it.
Okay.
Yes,
okay.
And he give me the I need liberty. Yes, I'm a person. I'm honest. Yes, it is not easy for people to work with me. Yes, because I'm honest. Yes, and I love it.
Now it's voice over on.
Oh,
what is?
What was that?
I don't know.
Okay, there was a sound from somewhere. Okay, I apologize. Yes.
Okay.
Don't know where they're coming. Yes. So
yes.
You're honest, and not everybody can work with you.
Yes. Oh, the people can work with me, but I'm not so. Sometimes it's not so harmony. Yes, because I say directly what is important for me, and the people we must find a way together. Yes, and then all things are clear. I'm an optimist. Yes.
That's
in every
important.
time. Yes, in Germany we say get up again, straighten your crown, keep on. Yes, the life go high and down. Yes, we have many hills, and yes.
Okay. Thank you for that.
Thank you for that.
And I have another question because you
Yes,
have the logo Depeche
yes,
for the planet. We did mention the Golden Planet Award.
yes.
What is Depeche?
Depeche is a digital international platform for environment, sustainability, and humanity. And with Depeche, we want to connect the whole world. The goal from Depeche is to build up the greatest movement for living sustainability. And in this platform, we have all things which we need to give people a better understanding for living sustainability. For example, we have a knowledge database like Wikipedia, but only for living sustainability. This is one side, one pillar. The second pillar are a platform for companies, yes, because companies have good ideas, have new technique, have good solutions for sustainable solutions. Yes. Then we have a platform for NGOs, all people which love the world. Yeah, we have the heart in the right way. Yes, and they want to do good things for the world. And the next part is we have ambassadors, yes, people which go out, people which say, hey, that's a good thing. And a pool of sustainable and environmental projects for to support. Yes.
Wow.
And with this platform, we go around the world and want to inspire people for the topics, the important topics around the world: climate, sustainability, plastic, sustainable travel, lifestyle, all these things.
And you and I talked, and we normally talk in German. So I
Yes.
do want to ask this question because looking at our guests here and knowing part of the audience, there are probably a lot of coaches or mentors,
Yes.
solopreneurs.
Yes.
And I remember when you and I first talked, I was thinking, me, sustainable, well, I recycle, I use vegan cosmetics. How do I fit with that? So can you explain how somebody like me or any coach or any speaker, a solopreneur, how do they fit into sustainability?
Kannst du mir bitte
Ja.
kurz helfen, damit
Ja.
ich das richtig verstehe?
Ja. Einfach, wie würdest du es beschreiben, dass ein Coach oder ein Speaker oder so nachhaltig ist?
Okay,
Ja.
okay. Thank you for
Yes,
the
of course.
translation. Yes, for example, you can when you work at a coach at home, you can have a paperless office. For example, yes, you can you can look if all things which you have in the office, yes, or in the area around this, yes, the products are sustainable. Do you when you give an offer, for example, by Amazon or another office, yes, please look if the package around the product, yes, is recycle or sustainable. Yes. What do you eat? Do you eat vegan? Do you eat vegetables? Yes. Do you eat vegetarisch? Yes. That's also things. What do you when you have a date with a coachee? Yes. Do you drive with car? Do you drive with buses? Yes, or a train? That's the reason. When you go in holidays, yes, what do you do? Do you go with car? Yes, or do you fly?
Right.
Yes.
Yes.
It gives so much things what you can do yes, in when you in your own person, in your own area, in your own home. And I believe that the only way who is successful when everybody look at this home, yes, look what is on what things I use in plastic, yes, what can I change, yes, I can make soap. Yes, I must not buy the things. Yeah, I can make the things self. I have natural products. It is without chemical. Yes, I can do so much. In Germany, we have a book. The name is A Living Without Plastic. Yes, it is for the household, and we can use all these types. Yes, for to have a better life.
Thank you for explaining that. And I'm going to add one thing, and that is that even though everything Astrid just explained, you know, there are additional things, such as what is the longevity? If you're a coach, who do you impact long term? And if this all sounds a little woo-woo, well, if I recycle, then I'm sustainable. Well, I can tell you that if you want to join Depeche, you have to prove that you are sustainable. So they actually vet us. They don't just say, oh, okay, great. There are questions to make sure that you are really living sustainably, which I think is a very important aspect. So, all right. Thank you so much, Astrid. I'm going to let you go and breathe for a moment. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Good. So that was number one. Okay. Have you learned something yet? Okay, good. Now comes number two. And this is not an order from 1 to 10. Okay. I'm just going through and picking who I see on the screen. So this next lady, yes, it's also a lady, is also very, very amazing. I have never met her in person. I have to say that. But we did have 1 or 2 conversations on WhatsApp. That may sound not like a whole lot. It is, though, because you get to feel the energy, okay? And the energy matters. And this person calls herself an ambassador. And of course, there we go. I'm highlighting Miss Maria Dolores. And I always pronounce it Spanish, even though she told me she is not Spanish. So I apologize for that. But Maria, you are, of course, the visionary behind the human contract. I asked Astrid what makes her get up. I want to ask you, Maria Dolores, living, I believe, up north from me.
Yeah, I live in Sweden.
In Sweden. So how did you get to do what you're doing? What are your experiences that led you to where you are?
Yeah, and it also refers to what gets me up in the morning. Yes, my name is Maria Dolores. I'm Swedish, born and raised in Sweden. I lived a short while in the States. And my background is with human resources and leadership. I've been working in the Swedish steel industry, in forest industry, and at the Swedish prosecution authorities, and worked also with security. 10 years ago, when I divorced my husband, it came out in a very destructive way, and it gave me an insight, a glimpse of what many millions of people are experiencing today. Fear of being followed, and to be unfree, and to wake up, you know, like 3-4 in the morning, and just feeling fear in my body, like, you know, the nervous system was completely wrecked. So what also happened during that time was that my ex-husband developed a brain tumor, of which he died. And then in 2015, I wrote this book, A State. Oh, you cannot see it. Okay.
That's okay. You can put it in the chat later as well.
Yeah,
Yes.
well, we can do that. A State of Grace, Human Rights and Human Obligation. And that is the sprout of the foundation that we have now created, that is called the Human Contract. And so me and my team, we're working for a freedom movement and a human freedom movement. And that's really what gets me up, because today when I wake up, I'm happy and I'm relieved and I feel freedom. And that's also what we want to share with the world, about that we have both human rights, but we also have human responsibilities, and that we are born with our birthrights, our body, our emotions, our thoughts, our movements, our expression of and communication, and life, that you have the right to your life and you have a responsibility to respect life. And then the seventh principle is about our collective rights and responsibilities. How we as a humanity, we also have responsibilities. In Swedish, we call this civilkurage.
Yes, civil courage. Yes, yes.
Civil
courage. Yes.
Civilkurage, yeah.
Yes, yes.
So, so that's really what gets me up in the morning. And also in my back, yeah, I was awarded in February when I turned 50. I was speaking in the House of Commons, and then I was re-invited to come and speak in the House of Lords in May. And then I was also re-invited to come and speak at the World Peace Conference. I was the keynote speaker this year in August. And the day after, I got the Ambassador for World Peace Award in 2023, which I'm very happy and very proud of. And then I also went on a tour in September where I also met Ashkan in person. And we are now working with this movement, and it looks like we're launching in springtime with this movement in Las Vegas. I think I can tell you that.
Okay.
And going to different cities and inspiring the city, measuring before and 360 days after the effect of and the impact of the movement we are creating. And so it's these 7 principles. If you condense them, it's the first 3 is about personal health. It's about our physical and mental health. And the coming 3 is how we interact as humans, and that we have both rights and responsibilities. And then, like I said, the 7th principle is about our collective rights and responsibilities. I really believe in humanity. I know we are so many people in a dark place right now. And I believe in humanity and what we can create and what we can do when we are united.
Yes. I don't know what else to say, but yes. I was actually, you used the term humanity, and I was just having some conversations in the last 2-3 days about, the time that we're living in, and how it appears to almost be a call to live our humanity even more. And what you just shared, your personal experiences, there were a lot of challenges. And here you are talking about, a peaceful movement, rights, responsibilities. That's definitely peace, the way that I understand it. What is your long-term goal? What do you hope to see, let's say, 5 years from today for your organization?
Okay, well, in 5 years, we have the movement is I believe in 5 years that we will have at least 1 billion people knowing about their rights and responsibilities. And we have also created within this foundation. So the foundation is a non-profit.
Yes.
And within 5 years, we created 5 institutes. And these institutes are in platforms in various ways to support people in all walks of life and to communicate the human contract and to manifest these platforms in to reach and to also to actually to create business and work opportunities. So these 5 institutes are the media company, and a wellness institute working with wellness and creating actual buildings. The goal is within 60 years to have at least 1 wellness institute in each country. And so media, wellness, and then a tech institute with tech stuff that we have in the background that we're working with to support humanity to mature, because the goal of the human contract is just a more mature humanity, and it means more peaceful and more mature with yourself and more mature in your relationships. So the tech stuff is to support that. And then education center and education in various ways and to inspire to change. And then having this non-profit owning at least 60% of these for-profit, and to create wealth for people working and living their life purpose, then we'll create the 5th institute, hopefully within 5 years. That is a financial institute, and to support, so the wealth is going to the financial institute to support more entrepreneurs or philanthropreneurs,
Okay, philanthropreneurs, I like that term.
Entrepreneurs. I just love that new word, philanthropreneur, where people are both working philanthropy and entrepreneur mindset.
Yes.
And so the financial institute is to support them. And I know we all know what it's like to be beginners, and you need the right money, you need the right competence, and you need the right structure. And so this will be a help for that.
Those are big goals. Yes.
And then the human contract is working for the coming 100 years for a more mature humanity.
Wow. Well, I think there might be some people in this room right now, spotlighted and not spotlighted, who will look forward to talking more with you about collaborating or helping with the financial institute and so forth. All right. Thank you so much. Now you get to breathe for a second.
So nice to be here.
Thank you. Thank you. All right. Now I'm going to switch, just, looking at the numbers, I'm going to switch. I'm going to switch to a gentleman. Okay. Because right now we only have 1. We were supposed to have 2, but who knows where the other one is. Life happens. And so this gentleman, I also had the opportunity to actually meet in person also about 2 weeks ago. Okay, so things just come together energetically. And I do know that he is here today mostly, a little bit mostly, to address the overriding organization that is called Voice 8, which initially actually attracted me because I saw music, I saw dance, I saw all of those things. And of course, it's much bigger, and he, and then Astrid might chime in as well, will be more able to explain the connection. But I also got to know Regino a little bit more. When I met him in person, he's also a coach, he's also a mentor, and he explained some things to me while in Frankfurt so that I didn't feel quite so alone. Welcome, Regino, and thank you for being here.
Oh, thank you very much for inviting me and being a part of that wonderful forum here. Thank you very much.
Oh, of course, of course. So you, of course, wear two hats, just like Astrid at the moment, you know, Voice Aid, Depeche, they are connected. So aside from Voice Aid and Depeche, what gets you up in the morning? Why do you work, help, support nonprofit organizations?
It's pretty much easy to explain, you know, with that in 2019 founded organization, the Voice Aid Association himself. I got a really life dream coming true. You know, I met that time Astrid, and Astrid came up with her ideas, her passions, and her beliefs. And so we came across with all of that. So what turns me on in the morning, getting up, filling up that dream. Especially, I have to say, by looking around, seeing here in Berlin, all the issues, I call it right now like that, what is about crossing over the streets, meeting and seeing homeless people, seeing refugees not covered up at all. All the things that I'm coming through all days, it turns me on to stay on that belief that we can do something good with the Voice Aid Association himself. You asked me about why is there music in and stuff.
Well, I mean, that's what I first saw, you know. It might be completely wrong, but I was like, Voice Aid, and oh, they're going into schools. Music makes
Yes,
the
we do.
world go round. It's
Yeah.
So yes.
Yeah. Well, I come from a background from the media, actually. You know, as musician part-wise, I had a project in my past for HIV prevention. I had a band project that for I organized some congresses that for and stuff. And music and entertainment, I was 30 years on stage, was anytime a part of my life. In the other case, I know, may you don't, that the husband from Astrid is also placed in music. And so we both are music loving people. And we came across and we created that idea that especially music that connects the world really on the heart, no matter what theme is behind. We should, and we want to use arts and music, and even more, even the fashion industry, even to conform them, to transform them, to make an effort, creating an impact, using them in the best way. So arts and music, it's one of our goals to use more and more and more to stabilize and even to emphasize the people together, you know, to bring them to action, because we're touching them on the heart.
And it's music to me is always fascinating, because even if you don't understand the words, or you know, when you go to a concert, it can be a small concert in a club, or you know, a 70,000 people stadium, people get together. It doesn't matter anymore where I come from. We just all sing and dance together. So there is a power and an energy to it. So how does, and I'm going to bring Astrid in just in case as well, how does Depeche and Voice Aid go together? Because my understanding is that they are directly connected. So how do they go together? What is the connection?
Astrid, me as first? Okay. We started.
You're still muted, Astrid. Yeah, okay, there we go. Okay.
Yeah.
So when you want, I can.
When you want, please do it.
Yes. It is so in the time where we have started before COVID, yes, and we have organized some concerts, yeah, for Connect the World, and then COVID, the time of COVID starts, and all musicians and all concerts are cancelled. Yes, the musicians have no work, and in this time. Yes, I think what need the world now yes, for to grow up the voice aid, for to give the people an idea about the mission from voice aid, yes, and that in this space we have created the thought behind all these things was, yes, the future is digital, the future is sustainable. Yes, and the next logic step was to create an international digital platform, yes, for all the things. And so we don't need anything for to inform and inspire people.
Wow. Okay, Regina, you want to add anything to it, or is that?
How Astrid is all time on the point. That's
okay.
fine.
All right. So that is the connection. And, you know, we do know that music does make the world go round. I think that's actually a song as well. I'm trying to find myself to bring myself in again. There we are. Great. So I thank you too. I know we're going to learn a lot more about the Golden Planet and the exact work that both of you do, but you get to breathe again first. So I'm going to just send you to the back for a moment. Thank you both. Thank you especially Regina for explaining voice aid a little bit. Okay, now Regina and Astrid just mentioned music and COVID. I do know that Johannes Makohara could not make it today, and he really was invited to join us and talk about the nonprofit organization for Cavaluna. Which is a big show that has to do with horses and the interaction between horses and human beings. When I met him for the second time, I actually asked him about the musicians and the artists in Cavaluna, because I said COVID hit, and I didn't know that Cavaluna had to stop right there. They were on tour and they bring everything, the horses, the sand, different sand, they bring everything with them. And they had to stop in the middle of the tour. And we all know that artists, if they don't perform, they don't get paid. And what I really thought was special about the way that Johannes and the CEOs and the board for Cavaluna took care of their people was they made sure they still got paid, even though there was no tour, so there were no ticket sales, they were still getting paid. And of course, they have the nonprofit where they use equine therapy. So I do want to mention that also, because the equine therapy for Cavaluna e.V., as we say in German, also did earn a Golden Planet Award. So everything comes together. So you definitely want to check that out. However, we do have someone else in the room, and I'm trying to find her right now. There she is. Okay, I found her on my list. So this young lady, actually, I did get to talk to her on Zoom twice. One time she was kind enough to interview me, actually. And this young lady lives in a haunted place in the United States, famous because of the Civil War, haunted because of the Civil War. And yes, I'm making it sound worse than it is. And at the same time, she was also very much involved in the creation and running of the Girl Scouts. So Connie, here you are. And you do so many things. I didn't even jump into the coaching that you do, the mentoring that you do, or Born Life. So what gets you up in the morning? What drives you? How did you come up with the idea to create a foundation?
Well, thanks for having me. I'm excited to be here, honored, humbled. Yes, I live in Gettysburg, Pennsylvania, which is known as one of the most haunted areas in the world because of the Civil War. But what gets me up in the morning is really knowing that I have that ability to help others succeed, help others on their path forward to whatever it is that they're looking for. And yes, I'm a mentor, I'm a business coach. I've had multiple businesses over the year. CEO for Girl Scouts, CEO for the United States Chamber of Commerce. So I've been very involved with business. I have a strong business background. A little bit of my background will help answer the question as to why I started the foundation. So, really brief, I grew up living with my grandmother, and as long as I could remember at a very young age, I ran the house. I did the babysitting and the shopping and the taking care of the neighbors and cleaning their houses and taking care of cousins, all the way up to when she died short of my 16th birthday, 1 month shy of my 16th birthday. And before my birthday, she was telling me that I was going to be quitting school at 16. So I can get a job at the local sewing factory, so I can do more to take care of the family. So I prayed and prayed and prayed that I did not want to quit school. And again, in my household, school wasn't important. I would hide doing my schoolwork because it was important to me. I always felt that that was my path, my way out. So needless to say, she died. So all through finishing high school, I basically was a couch surfer, staying at different family members' homes, going back to staying with mom and dad. And I finished on the honor roll. I was on the honor society and all of these awards and accolades. So fast forward a lot of years, my 20s weren't the best. And I call it my sex, drugs, and rock and roll years. And just a lot of relationships, a lot of just searching and finding myself, to find out at the age of 48, the whole story turned around was that I was adopted. And so mom was mom, dad was not dad. And so that's why there was that very turbulent relationship that we had. But all through that time, I focused on my career. And I did not want to focus on my personal life because it was painful. And I had many of those nights waking up 3, 4 o'clock in the morning, trying to figure out, who am I? What am I, what am I here for? What am I going to do? So I did a lot of searching around that. I finally dove into my personal side after finding out that truth. And what really came to me, and a lot of what I do when I give back, and again, working with the Girl Scouts, I've seen this so many times of these young kids with their young girls that had very similar struggles. And you realize that you're not the only one that has struggles. Like, everybody does. So I found myself really focusing on kids that are aging out of the foster care system, and then living in Los Angeles and seeing so many of them homeless and on the streets just pulled at my heart. So I made the decision that I was going, and then through COVID, my stepdaughter was visiting, and it was just tearing at my heart. I mean, I sat and broke down in tears one day, and I'm not a crier because of so much that has happened in my life. And she said, "You need to use your voice for the voiceless." And I'm very intuitive, and I just felt it right now. Again, it just went completely through my body and said, yes, that's what I need to do. And I had been doing a podcast now for like 15 years. So I'm using that as that voice for the voiceless young adults, I like to call them. So Born Foundation was started, and Born is beginning of renewing life. And it's a foundation where it's helping these young adults that are aging out of the system and giving them some direction, giving them some guidance. And I was actually in a program recently where another gentleman was saying that all we need to do is provide them their basic needs. No. It's not just providing them with their basic needs, it's providing them with some dreams and showing them that there is a way, that there is a path forward. Now, with the Born Foundation, we have 5 different objectives, 5 different areas that we focus on. And the big part of it is STEAM, which is the science, the technology, the engineering, the arts, and the math. And through all of my relationships that I have, from pro athletes to entertainers and celebrities and corporate executives, I pull them in to be mentors for these young adults, to show them that there is a path forward, because they are our future. And if we're looking at something sustainable, it's creating this very deep ecosystem where we're all coming together, because we are all connected in one way or another. So these young adults, they are the future that we need to bring. So we need to provide them those resources and that guidance, so they're not living on the streets. So they're, they're not getting into the drugs, or, getting pregnant, or thinking that that's all life has to give. There's a lot more. And as flourishing adults, we need to show them what that is.
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. And, there are a lot of different schools of thought on foster care, how to do foster care, adoption, where should we adopt from, who should we adopt? These are huge questions. And the one that you're raising is, well, what happens then?
Right.
They've gone through the system, good, bad, in between, but now they're no longer kids. So
Right.
how do we support them now? And a very dear friend of mine, he's been through foster care as well. And, it does leave some marks, especially if it's not the best of experiences. So I think it's definitely a very, very, very important mission. And I want to thank you for highlighting that very much. I think you have your work cut out for yourself, but
Yes.
I do think we have lots of connections, all the people in the room, as well as some that we've already connected you with, that can help with that, because it is not just a US issue, right? It's a world issue.
It is a world issue.
And I see Maria is nodding her head as well. So all right. Thank you so much for that introduction, Connie. I'm going to let you breathe as well for a moment. And now we're coming to the fun technical part that may or may not work. We will see that in just a moment, because one of our other guests could not make it, and I need to make sure that's okay, could not make it today live, and that's because she's traveling a lot. Okay, has nothing to do with her not wanting to be here, quite the opposite. And Jennifer Randite, the Maverick, helped facilitate that this next amazing leader was at least able to provide us with a video. And I'm going to give you just a brief introduction to her, because the video will help us understand her heart. She cannot, however, participate in some of the conversations that we're having. So this next lady, I met her a number of years ago, actually, in India. I was still living in the United States, and I was traveling for the Women's Economic Forum to New Delhi in India. It was a very big event. It was wonderfully organized, and I met a lot of really just insightful people from all over the world. Literally, women came from all over the world to be there. That's how I got introduced to Dr. Harbeen Arora. Little did I know at that point that that was just one of the things she was doing to, I'm going to put words in her mouth, to support sisters and women across the globe. Shortly thereafter, she created something that was called She-conomy, which is now in its second rendition. She-conomy, obviously she, okay, for women entrepreneurs. It doesn't mean that men don't have access, but it is something to really support women. There's also, I'm going to mispronounce that, and I hope Jennifer's going to correct me if I'm making this really, really bad, but there's also Wicca, which is more focused on the Indian area, also for women. And it's all about helping women lead, helping women move forward in their businesses. The last or the current last thing that Dr. Harbin Arora has created is actually a, how should I put this, a global organization, and this global organization is called G100. Again, it's connected to the All Ladies League, to Wiki, to Sheconomy. It all comes together. Yet, in this instance, what is important to remember is that we have here a woman who is trying to make sure that all of us get a word in, that we can be heard, that we can be a voice. And therefore, Dr. Harbin Arora has created G100, 100 wings, 100 areas of focus. And all of them are led by a global chair. In my instance, the wing that I work with, and I'm happy to support with, is the Oneness and Wisdom wing. And we have Jennifer Randolph, the Maverick CEO, as our global chair. And then we have country chairs. So I happen to be the country chair of Germany. We have a country chair in Angola, in Canada. And we try to really uplift and support, just like Depeche and everybody here does, the idea of the 17 SDGs from the UN. And so I think I've said enough about her. I'm now going to see if I can actually pull up the video. So here we are. I'm going to open it up. I think you can see it. And now I need to make sure that we have sound, because I always forget that. So let me make sure that I share the sound. Ton freigeben. There we go. And then I also need to turn the tone on. Actually, that would probably be very helpful. So let me see if I can do that. So please enjoy the one and only Dr. Harbin Arora. And if you could give me a thumbs up, if you can hear her, that would be awesome.
Hello, dear soul sisters, dear soul brothers. My warm regards to the G100 wing of Oneness and Wisdom, led by our dear soul sister Jennifer as global chair, and so many country chairs, 50, more than 50 in 50 countries, and my soul sister Natalie. Thank you so much for this kind opportunity and invitation to share with all of you my humble thoughts and journey of growing, evolving, that started, that is present, and that continues with all of us. So it starts with yourself, with who you are, and you are already the legacy of the divine. You are the best design that the divine could send, the universe, or whatever you want to call it, into the world to fulfill a purpose, a need that is there. So you are enough. You are the legacy, and just loving ourselves, just living our lives with the values that are inspired from our own heart, our own wisdom, trusting that wisdom, feeling connected to it, and validating that wisdom, knowing that you already have all the software and the knowledge that is required for you to do whatever you feel that you must do. So my sisters and brothers, my journey is very simple. I see myself as the source. As I take care of myself, I take care of whatever I'm creating, whatever purpose I'm part of. As I take care of my own growth, I automatically take care of the growth of whatever I am participating in. As I take care of my own physical health, my own emotional health, my own mental health, I automatically put the best version of myself into whatever I am doing. So you are the seed and the center of whatever worlds you are creating around you, be they in the personal space, be they in the public space, be they so the relationship that you have with yourself is central to the relationships that you will enjoy with other people, with other entities, among people, among nations, among cultures, among faiths. But you are at the center and at the core. So taking care of yourself is so important to this dance of harmony that we all have to dance. So live life Dare to live life robustly, boldly, embracing all its challenges and struggling through your fears and tears and loving those struggles all the same, because it's all part of the process. So if you want the juice of a fruit, then you have to embrace the entire fruit. You may not drink the fibrous parts of the fruit in the juice, but without those fibrous parts, which you may eventually throw away or eat if you eat the fruit, you will not have the juice. So it's all, everything in the design is integral to whatever essence. You need the story for the moral of the story, right? You need the whole for that whatever essence, whatever fragrance to come through. So shine on, live on, just find more confidence in yourself, find more courage in yourself, find more love in yourself. I mean, love is something I repeat all the time, because it's the life, breath, blood of everything. No love, no life. So I wish you a lot of love. I wish you beautiful legacies. Although that is your legacy, is the fragrance, is that juice that we all leave behind, and it's the light that shines on when we are no longer there. So just do whatever you do. It's the qualitative aspect of what you do and how you do is very, very powerful. You can literally call into force any manifestation. The question is, do you want to? Thank you so much for this opportunity. I wish you all the very best, and I wish our G100 sisters participating in the conference all the very best. Good luck. Namaste. Hello.
All right. So if you want the juice of the fruit, okay. And of course, very important, take care of yourself. So you all now had a taste, as I like to call it, of Dr. Harbin Aurora, which of course, you know, it's all about love, and it starts within. Before we go to the next part, in which we're going to have an open conversation, maybe we'll have some questions from the audience as well. Ashkan, what is your impression thus far of what you've heard of all of our spotlight guests for today?
You know, I start by mentioning what I put in a chat, speechless.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
You know, the way that we brought this stellar group, it's just that there's such a synergy and divinity in the room right now. We attend conferences sometimes to learn something, to celebrate someone, to launch something. And today it's like we are beyond time and space.
Mm-hmm.
We are really surrounded by a wisdom that is I want to say, timeless.
Mm-hmm.
Every single of our wonderful presenters, you know, Lady Astrid, Mr. Regino, Lady Connie, right? Lady Maria, each one, they were so comfortable. And this is why we do this.
Mm-hmm.
Usually, sometimes people are in competition, they have certain ways, certain strategies, and that's respectful in for-profit companies. That's how they profit, by offering these unique services, and they have a niche and they can enjoy. But when it comes to nonprofits or foundations, you know, there is no competition. There's only winning. In that mindset, in that spirit, is like, how can I serve you?
Mm-hmm.
I'm here to serve you. My cause is here to bring about education, expansion in their causes. Example, in Deepesh, right, with sustainability, the way she was
Mm-hmm.
actually telling us about, you know, every choice we do every day, we can be sustainable. It's just a choice. Like how we started with garbage, we didn't know which one's recycle. Now you can have 3 bins. You can have one for your grass, one for recycle, and one for your garbage. And
I would love to
every
see.
person,
Okay.
Maria,
Ashkan, let me interrupt you for 1 second, because I think Maria
perfect.
has to go to a party here in a minute.
Oh, no
Yeah.
problem. So no, that was my takeaway. So my takeaway was, with how Dr. Harbin said.
Yes.
You know, we want to leave a legacy, not just when we are here. So when we are gone, that message get resonate into generations, whether it's our local, national, or international. So let's go back to the roundtable.
Yes.
Thank
Yes.
you. And
Maria.
thank you, Ashkan. I really want to say thank you to all of you joining here. I'm so happy and I'm so proud to be part of this community. And also what you said, Ashkan, is that we in the nonprofit community, when we are collaborating, it's strengthening one each other. And I really believe that because sometimes it's sad to see, you know, when, for instance, Red Cross gets funding that usually went to the Greenpeace and so on. So, and to see each other as competitors, which is really, you know, you guys, we are on the good side, right? We are the good forces. And when we are competing and when we are arguing among each other, that's, you know, when the other side is gaining. So it's really how we collaborate better, more sufficient. And actually that's part of what the human contract also wants to support, is in the financial institute that I talked about, to support in various ways with these 5 institutes, to have a back office for nonprofits, so that you can do what you are good at, and you get the right support and the right back office to make you grow even more. That, you know, and yes, we need to collaborate so much more, and much gratitude to all of you. We're on the good side, good track.
Yes. Thank you, Maria. And you know, it's so important. The collaboration aspect is so important. And this is why I think this group, and when I say this group, I don't just mean the ones that are currently spotlighted, but, you know, let me remind everybody, we've got Christopher, we've got Nee Kim, we've got Charlotte, Richard, James, Aaron, Dr. Barrett, Mark, Jennifer. We have a lot of people in the room and many who are going to listen later. So collaboration, because whatever we do here goes out, as Dr. Harbin said. And, you know, it's just so important that we look at, how can I support Astrid? How can I support Connie? Well, can Connie and Astrid do something together? Can Regino and Dr. Harbin do something together? Everything can actually connect instead of competition, collaboration. Now, having said that, here's a question, and I know some of you will have to go in and out a little bit, but here's a question as we are now moving to the conversation part, okay? We've heard of 5 pillars, 7 plans, 5 initiatives, voice aid, going to schools, doing the Golden Planet, going global. It sounds like a lot to do. How do you do it? How do you do what you do? Who's helping you? It takes so much planning. How do you all do what you do? Whoever wants to start out, just jump in.
Well, I could jump in.
Yeah, go ahead, go ahead.
It is a lot. And I mean, I keep it in front, and I'm sorry, I have paper on my desk. I'll try to do better.
Oh, Astrid is not looking. Astrid guckt nicht. Kein Papier, kein Papier.
But it's collaborating with others. It's collaborating, whether it be with corporate. So like Arby's, Inspire Brands, Duncan, they're huge sponsors of ours, because we also, when we're talking about this, it's really a lot about the mental health aspect as well. And we have a lot of our talent through our agency, through our artist agency, that talk about that. So we bring it together. So I cannot be a one-man show, although I feel like I am some days, but clearly it's through collaborating with other organizations is how we get things done. You know, and I'll add to like what Maria Dolores was saying, it is that collaboration and how we work and support each other. And that's the only way that we can get done what we have. And that's the best way to do it going forward with everybody.
Yeah, yeah, and to have a good team, have a really good team around you, people who support you and lift you up. And who was it that just recently met someone? Was that
we just all met each other.
No, someone who had a new partner.
Oh,
Was that Astrid? Was that you or Connie?
Astrid and I just met in person. Regino and I just met in person.
No, like a new.
I just met with somebody who was referred to me by Natalie. And so he actually is only about an hour from me. We met in person last week. And he does a lot of work in the foster system as well. So right now we have an event that we've already started. We've only connected a week that we're doing during the week of Super Bowl in Vegas. So yes, so that connection just happened.
Lovely.
And I heard about that, Connie. So I was told I might have to come. We shall see. But since we're talking, you know, moving pieces, Ashkan, I believe, mentioned earlier that Depeche is also spreading its wings. I have to put it like that because, you know, and just recently, Maria, you were just in California also with Ashkan, but Depeche, and thereby Voice Aid, is spreading its wings to the US. That involves a lot of work as well, not to mention that they just spread their wings also into Africa. And, you know, Richard George and the Richard George Foundation comes to mind. How difficult is it, Astrid and Regino, to go from, this is going to sound bad, okay, from Berlin or Frankfurt or Germany to Africa and to the US? How difficult is it to make that happen?
Shall I start, Regino? Oh, hey.
Okay. Whoops.
Shall I start, Regino?
You can, sure.
Yes, I will say to this, we have a wonderful, a very appreciate message. Yes. And this message give us wings, give us the spirit and the energy to go this powerful ways. Yes. And when you can sing it, you can do it. Yes. And I know Ashkan very long. He's a wonderful man. And the time is coming where I go to my phone, ring up to Ashkan, yes, with Regino on my side. And I tell him the story. I tell him what's my passion. And Ashkan said, yes, I like it. Yes. And I believe in the bottom of my heart that the time is coming where the right people go together. And that's the same in Africa. Yes. The Richard, George, we have no, Regino and I have no Richard. In March, we have a great event in Berlin, in the Now Hotel, to the women's...
National Women's Day.
What,
National Women's Day.
Yes. We know Richard. I have talked with Richard. We have laughed together. Yes. We see that we have the same rhythm. Yes. We have the same thinking. And so we say, Richard comes out in Nigeria. He has a launch with his foundation in Nigeria. And so we say, that's a wonderful start to make Depeche Africa great. And now the important point is we don't speak only. We go in action. Yes. In my opinion, in my meaning, it is so. The people speak so much, but they don't go in action. Yes. And I follow my heart. Gino, what do you do?
I do the same. It is, you was creating wonderful sentences. People are magic, and with people we can change the world.
Yes.
And this is what we are going through. And of course, sometimes it needs times to meet the right people on time, but doesn't mean there are many others that are thinking the same way. So it's, of course, a little bit even about trust that all will come together. I call it like the universe, when you go forward with your inner own, and it is made by doing good, by working for good, by changing things on the world, whatever it is to do. Then there will people, they go with you.
So now I go back to your question. That gives me the power to go all these ways. Yes. All people come together when the time is right. And I say thank you to Ashkan that we know us so long and that you have such a wonderful spirit. I say thank you to Natalie. Yes. You be my angel. Yes. Between two worlds, US and Europe. Yes. All things are wonderful. And Dolo, Maria, we have speak together for some months. Yes. You be a wonderful woman. Great to know you. And Connie, yes, I ring up to you, and we call together and make good things with Ashkan, Natalie, Maria, Regino, and all people. Yes, it is the time is coming to stand up. Richard, we was in Africa. Richard say, the time for Africa is coming now. And I say the time for the US, for living sustainability is now, and also for Europe. Thank you.
So a follow-up question here. There seems to be an agreement, collaboration, right? And again, I want to point out everybody who's currently here, everybody who's watching later, reach out to the spotlighted as well as the other guests. And while I'm thinking global growth, Dr. Harbin mentioned, you have to take care of your own growth. You need to take care of your physical, mental, spiritual health. And in that, we need to find partners, obviously. How important, and I don't know if he's anticipating this, but I'm going to throw a curveball to one of my dear friends. How important do you think visibility is to achieve your goals? Anybody in this spotlighted group can answer, and then I'm going to bring somebody in for a moment in just a second. How important is visibility?
I can go on
Yes,
this.
visibility.
It's the visibility means exposure.
Öffentlichkeitsarbeit, Öffentlichkeitsarbeit, Sichtbarkeit.
Expose. In these times that we are being driven by social media, and actually the number one way to deliver is visual. And secondary is actually, we have Dr. Barrett here's podcast, auditory. And yes, there is a balance. A lot of people are not tired, but they rather go podcast or go visual. But it's very important whether we are social butterflies or we are, coy. When you have a message, when you have a cause, you are the spokesperson of this energy. And you have to do your due diligence and reach out to your local, national, and international organization, government entities. And there are a lot of foundations actually that their job is to lift up other foundations. Okay, they're like accelerant. They're not just there, they provide you with financial assistance. They also provide you with techniques. They will also provide you with strategies. So as far as my end, make sure as soon as you have your foundation, I'm talking to people who are in the room and also the people who have their foundation, look at, take an inventory where I'm at. 2024 is coming and the whole world needs more of unity and education and actually basic human values,
Yeah.
respect,
Yes.
honor,
Mhm.
Yeah.
liberty,
And
right?
I,
So with that sense,
yes.
I believe that's why we are doing this visually to bring unity, collaboration, awareness. And sometimes it's not about, millions of people seeing you, which is important. When you have a message, there's a way you use properly, not you can get back to me or wonderful Connie here. There's a way we can use influencers. We have friends that have 5 million on Instagram, 10 million on Facebook. There's a time for that. But
Yeah.
sometimes actually, more importantly, is who is in the room, who is next to you.
Mm.
Sometimes because they know you, when you communicate with them and ask, you need to ask, you have to reach out and clearly communicate. I want this. Would you like to? Would you like to collaborate? How about I have a suggestion? When you, like some of them know people in Germany, like Astrid, you have to talk to them. And, sometimes when it's win-win, it happens. And your job is to offer the opportunity.
Mm.
And other people's job is they have an opportunity to pursue that opportunity. And there's no pull, there's no push. And thank you for bringing that up, Natalie, because exposure is a big factor in having a successful local, national, or international foundation. And we'd be very happy to showcase. We have over 200 organizations that work with us in many genres. So this was a big one. That's why I took longer to emphasize on it. So don't be shy about it. Reach out, right? And help each other and make 2024 either 3x or 10x for your goals and your objectives.
I'm going to ask Maria to say a few words.
Yes.
Before you do, Maria, I want to welcome Dr. Lester Bailey, also one of our amazing people in 90210 and Mindatorium. Long story. Thank you so much, sir, for making the time as well. Maria, I'll let you talk and then I'll bring somebody else in for just a moment. Please, Maria, what do you think about visibility?
Yeah, visibility is about trust. It's really to and just like Ashkan was saying, it's partly the few that you keep close, and the trust that you are creating. Like when I started my Twitter account, I only had, I had a very few connections. I still have very few connections on Twitter, but I had some really, really good high impact people. And when I was building my other social media, and you can have a broader impact, a broader audience, but visibility is all about trust. All about trust.
And since we're talking about trust, I do want to bring in my fellow director of media, Dr. Barrett Matthews, just for a moment, because he talks a lot about media and podcasts. And there is a podcast, and then there's a YouTube podcast that has visuals. And then can you briefly tell us what, in your experience, these amazing nonprofits could do to increase their visibility even more, Barrett? Would you mind?
Oh, sure.
I'm throwing you
Dr.
sort of like under the rock, but
yeah, you know me long enough to where you can do that.
Yeah.
So as far as with the visibility through podcasting, and keep in mind, visibility not in a literal sense, meaning it doesn't have to be visual. It can be audio. It can even be written as well. But the thing is, podcasting hasn't even really scratched the surface of what it can do yet. I hear a lot of people ask, well, are there too many podcasts? And I say, well, are there too many books? Because it's just another form of media. It's just another way for you to get information out there. And I think one of the things that a lot of people have not caught on to, even though it's growing, is the idea of doing video podcasts. YouTube is probably the best purveyor of podcasting now, better than Spotify, better than iTunes. And the big benefit of that is that I know many of us have heard having an audio podcast on Spotify and so forth and all the other audio platforms, get a certain number of downloads, you'll attract more people, so forth and so on, which is great. The only problem with the audio platforms is that you have no idea who is downloading it. You have no idea who is listening to it. If you have a YouTube channel, as I'm sure many of you have, when you post YouTube and someone subscribes to your YouTube channel, you actually get a notification as to who has subscribed, which means you can bring them into what you're doing. You can get them engaged. You can actually contact them, which actually makes it so that whatever your mission is, whatever your purpose is, you can actually get some people to come on board with you by using YouTube. You should still keep the audio because that does attract another group of people. And if you have a strong call to action, you can get them to come on board with you. But it's also a good idea to have another platform doing video because, as I tell people, everyone consumes their information through at least one form of media. You need to make sure that you are not doing what I call ego-based marketing and just marketing where you're comfortable. Market where those people are so that they can find you instead of you going looking for them.
Great. Thank you. Astrid, please just go ahead. If we don't have a question for Barrett, I'm going to kick him back out. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Aaron, I saw your note as well, so I'm going to leave Barrett in. Aaron is also a podcaster. Astrid, you do, I'm going to say that, Astrid and Depeche, they have an expert talk as well. But Astrid, you had your hand up, please. You're on mute. Du bist stumm geschaltet gerade. Ja. Jetzt sind wir wieder da. Super.
Okay. I will say we are with topics in the world which need more, was heißt Aufmerksamkeit, Natalie?
Attention.
We need more attention for the things, what we do. And this is a reason because I think we must go out. We must go out. In Germany, I say every time, please go out and speak about good things. Germans are another, Germans have another thinking, yes? They do good things, but they don't speak about it. And that's the reason because we have no role models. But we must go the other way, yes? We must show the people what's possible, yes? We must show the people that we can live living sustainability in all areas in your life. But the people must have an idea, yes? They need to identify it with the people which go out, which say, I'm an entrepreneur, yes. I have a social trustment. It's okay, Natalie?
Yes,
the right
absolutely.
Word?
Yes,
okay.
absolutely. Yes.
So that's the reason, because we have created with Depeche and Voice It some different tools, yes. Matthew, podcasts are wonderful. I love it. Yes, great thing. But also, Natalie speak about expert talk. Yes, we make interviews about Zoom. Yes, with experts, and then this interviews goes in YouTube, and everybody in the world can see, can use the knowledge from this expert. The second the second tool is we have created for some weeks, we have the first online congress for living sustainability. We have 30 experts in this online congress. All talks goes online, and everybody in the world can look, yes, what these people say. All experts have a different topic, and all experts speak about living sustainability, humanity, environment. And the crown of all these tools is the Golden Planet Award. Yes, we celebrated in Frankfurt, and we honored the true heroes. Yes, we named it social heroes. Yes, people which much love for the world with wonderful projects. Yes, and this is one side, and in the other side we honor sustainable companies, because we need the companies. We need business to change the world. Yes, because business have money to create new sustainable solutions. Yes, and when we can connect of the sustainable level, all these persons, we can go outside. Yes, and we have a very good press. Nathalie, kannst du das mal?
Ja, macht alles Sinn soweit, ja.
Okay.
Alles gut.
Wonderful, wonderful, I'm happy. Yes. We have a wonderful press outside. Everybody speak about the event, and that is what we need. We must create role models in business and also in the real world. And with these people and companies, we can work and we can change the world.
Absolutely. And before I go to Maria, Connie, you also wanted to add something, right? Yes.
Yes, I just wanted to add to that, because I've been podcasting for like 15 years, but beyond even the podcasting, because we talk, and I'll talk about our agency for a minute, because we really haven't implemented it for the foundation yet. But we talk about your stage off stage. And, the people that we work with, they want to be speakers, and, and they're asking, why am I not getting hired to be a speaker? Well, if you don't have any social media and nobody knows who you are, the chances of getting those speaking opportunities are going to be less until you pick up your game on social media. So we do a huge program with our talent around that piece, around your stage off stage. And even us with using our podcast, I would say probably we track it, at least 98% of the new talent that we work with come in through the podcast.
Yeah.
So we use that as a resource on YouTube, and then we were on numerous channels that were, pushing the podcast out, both audio and video as well. But again, to answer your question, it's imperative, and especially as an NPO, you are the face of the organization. And that comes back to why it's really important to have that support team, so you can be out there and you can be speaking and presenting and talking to funders. Because again, they want to see you, they want to know who you are, and they want to know that you're a real person.
Thank you.
Just wanted to share that.
And thank you, Barrett. Thank you, Astrid. Thank you, Connie. I do want to point out, Barrett has been doing podcasts for a while now. We have Aaron in the crowd as well. So there is something to being a guest on podcasts. There's something to the reach that we have, right? It's not just the podcast, it's how many people actually watch it. Right. And, how can we connect and collaborate even more, so that when Maria posts a video on LinkedIn that is on her YouTube, that I go to her YouTube and I like it, and I might even share it through my Twitter. So that's, again, all back to collaboration. Barrett, I'm going to kick you back out unless you want to add something.
I mean, just what you just said there, if you're looking for more reach, all media platforms are good, as many as you can, but definitely podcast. I have a podcast. Well, you can reach out to me, see if we're a good fit. If you want to be on my podcast, I'll make sure I save the chat and reach out to everyone anyway, but it's a great idea to get to as many audiences as possible, to get your message out there, because I mean, as they say, a closed mouth doesn't get fed. So you gotta get it out there and let people know, what you're looking for, what you need. And there are plenty of people who want to help in some form or fashion, but they just don't know you're out there.
Yes.
This is why we call Barrett, your head is blocking the other word. We call him the media boss. Just if you see behind him, says the media boss, and it's our pleasure to have him part of the 90210 Executive Council.
Good. I'm going to kick you out, Barrett. Thank you so much for being able to just, spontaneously here jump in. We're going to briefly change our program. I'm going to kick everybody off into the green room, which we don't have, except for Maria for a moment, because if you did not realize, Maria has another place to be at because there's a birthday. So we need to honor the birthday. I wouldn't be here at all if it was my daughter's birthday. But Maria, I really appreciate
You are
you
important
making
to
the time.
me. You are important to me also.
Well,
I
my
think
daughter's right now with her grandmother, so that's
Oh.
all good. But for the last few minutes before you spend time with your dear daughter, 16, I think you said, legacy. You've already outlined what you hope to achieve with the organization.
Yeah.
When it comes to you, there's that age-old question. What would you like to be remembered for? That's my first question for you. What would you like to be remembered for?
Yeah. I have a little bit of difficulty with legacy. I talked to Ashkan about this when we met. Well, because and the reason why I've been working in the funeral business, I know that life just is, and I'm not just saying that. I know that I've seen over 4,000 dead people. I've worked with death so much, and I know that we are here in a brief moment, and so legacy is well, what is more important to me is my life purpose. And my life purpose, which you could equal to legacy if you want to, my life purpose is to inspire to change and to start this movement about the human rights and human responsibilities. And so to inspire and also to create platforms or to create forums so that other people all over the world can live their life purpose. That's my life purpose.
Okay. That's fair enough. That's fair enough. Absolutely. Absolutely. So let's call that your legacy. Let's call that, what you're putting with your purpose into the world. And to close this out, what is your advice for anybody who has an idea of what they want to do? They don't want to work with you, not because they don't like you, but they have a different kind of purpose. Maybe it's animals. What is your advice to them to go ahead and create their movement? What is your advice?
I have 3 pillars, and that is get the good team, stay on track, and don't look back. And what I mean with that is, it's when you know your purpose and when you know where you're going, to have the right team around you is so essential. So essential. I cannot express how important that is. And to really build the trust, and not just to have yay-sayers, but to have, that solid, healthy group. So the team, and then to stay on track is to not to try to get distracted. And I am personally also working with that every single day, to stay on track. And if someone would say, well, let's just do these, the first 3 principles about health and wellness, and the human contract is 7 principles, so it's to stay on track. And don't look back. It's important to learn from our lessons. It's important to reflect on our background, but not to dwell at it, you know, not to say, oh, look what I did that, Aaron, and look how I look there, and, you know, to trying to and to dwell on your past, you know, make your past, make complete with your past. That's very important, but not to stay dragged by your past, but go your own way. That would be my guidance.
Yes. Thank you for that.
Thank you. Thank you.
One of my favorite poets in the US is Robert Frost. The Road Not Taken.
Yes.
I have it plastered everywhere.
Yeah.
We need to find our own way. Thank you so much, Maria. Please stay as long as you'd like, but we all know you have to go as well.
It was such a pleasure to meet you all, and I'm looking forward to see you all in the future. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Absolutely. And I'm going to bring everybody back in, and I do not want to forget, I'm sorry, I have to look over here to bring you all back in, but I don't want to forget Nee Kim, who has kindly been waiting. I do know that she had a question or a comment. Unfortunately, I had to get a few other things in first, but Nee Kim, what is your comment or your question, please? I'm going to try to bring it.
Yes. Hi, everyone. My name is Nee Kim Do. I go by Kim Possible because I believe that anything is possible. And our mission is to provide unforgettable experiences. We are the Every Experience company, and we wanted to provide value to the group by addressing one of your questions of visibility. So for us, we believe that visibility starts with the experience. We meet people in the real world, we get connected, we grow with them, and we capture those moments via video and photographs, and then we put it online, and that's how we establish an online presence. Work with companies to build upon that online presence by having more experience in the real world. We really focus on social media. So anybody have any advice at all on improving your social media, let us know. Our recommendation always is to go to our events, where we have photographers to capture those moments for you, and then you can post it online so you have more exposure and more visibility.
I think the photos are so important. You know, and I've noticed that Ashkan was taking some kind of pictures. I can't because I'm like always on the screen right now, but you know, these types of photos and the sharing and, you know, in the world we live in, here's a question, and I know that all of you face this. We are public figures. If we're leading a nonprofit, we're the face of the nonprofit. And people will look at us, right? People will say, is she really doing this? Is he really doing this? And sometimes you may just want to have a plastic bag of chips and eat the very bad chips and not think about sustainability, okay? Maybe, okay? So, you know, it is kind of important for us to recognize that we are in the limelight, whether we like it or not. And the reason why I'm saying that is because the word team has come up. You need a good team, you need a team, you need a team. I meet people from the heart. Okay. I've tried putting teams together, I'm being very honest. And I've done a really bad job a few times, really bad. I thought, oh, these people are great. And then a year later, I'm like, oh my God, they're not great. Maybe I'm not great. Maybe it's me. So how do we find, other than heart to heart, how do we put together the great team that supports us? What is your advice? Astrid, Connie. Yes, Astrid, yes.
Yes, I understand complete what you say. Yes.
That's why we're all laughing.
It would be an
To give a
honesty,
time,
okay?
yeah, every people which come to voice aid and debate, yes. Oh God, oh God, oh God, yes. I say so, yes. And I say thank you for the way, please. Yes, I think about it, yes. The change is coming in the moment where in the moment who I say to me, now it's the time is coming, I go this way. And I'm sure that this is the important point for to send a special energy in your universe. Yes. And in this, not directly, yes, we need some weeks, some months, yes, because before the universe believe what I think, yes.
Yes.
But when I have a good relationship to the universe, and when I believe on me and my things, yes, then the time is coming where the right people come in your area, yes, and then you can create a wonderful team, yes, and it's no time, you must learn it, yes. I was often said, yes, but I go in front, yes. I say that is the right way. I believe on it, and now the time is coming. I have wonderful people around my area, and I say thank you for all this wonderful energy.
Connie, you're laughing just like me.
Yeah, this has been a challenging year. It has really been a challenging year for the people that are working, you know, around me. And now I'm building a team specifically for the foundation. A lot of what I have found, and I'll go back before COVID. You know, we had a brick and mortar. I had 12 people, and then we had stopped and went virtual before COVID even happened. And there's always been that challenge of finding the right people to work on my team, especially the sales people. What I find challenging is to, you know, when we find somebody, to really truly find somebody that understands our vision of what we want this to be, what we're, you know, looking at the organization to be. So now I'm doing it for the foundation, and I am looking for that answer, but I'm finding it that it's either through contacts or referrals or, you know, somebody for this truly in the nonprofit sector that, again, that is going to understand that vision and what we're doing to give back to other people, to other organizations. For our agency, it just became finding somebody who's in the entertainment and meetings industry, again, that understands that vision. So that's the one piece that I always look for when I'm looking for somebody to be a part of it and be a part of my team. Do they truly understand the vision? Because I could teach them how to do social media. I could teach them, you know, those type of skills, but they really need to have a belief in what we're doing.
Yes, absolutely. A dear friend of mine, she is working on the source, the initiator. You know, if somebody has an idea, they are the source, and I think Astrid, you used that term, if I remember. You know, there's a source, there's a core where the idea comes from, and it can be a project. So that, you know, let's just say, you know, with 90210 Enterprise, you know, Mark Borrow in finance, he comes up with an idea. The main idea for 90210 is Ashkan, but Mark now has a project under finance, and now he is the source and the initiator. So nothing will go without him, right? So we need to also find the people who are actually the initiators, and she explains it much better than I do. But it is, you know, everybody initiates their own kind of project.
And that could go back to, we used to
Mhm.
work with a lot of interns.
Yes.
And the interns, my belief when we brought an intern in, that they would get a specific project that they would work on. And then from there, they learn the agency, they learn the organization, then we could decide whether or not they move forward to be part of our team. So that was something that we did with a lot of interns.
Yeah. Okay. Are there any
Well,
more?
I do say, I do add one thing. Um, uh, these times, a lot of people have a lot of ideas because we are very creative. The creative mode has been probably expanded because of social media, because of our access to Google research, a lot of books, and also experts and AI. So how do we find the right team though, right? How do we find team? And team means people who are going to give their time, which is the most expensive and irreplaceable asset. Anybody can pay for something or get a funding, but how you cannot replace time. So it's the most important asset. It's very important when we are growing from our idea, as how Maria said, the three principles, get the right team. How do you get the right team? Is you need to create a relationship. That's the big key. After collaboration, relationship, it's something that is based on a win-win scenario, and it's not because of anything. When you create that relationship, like how you have a relationship with your child, with your spouse, with your parents, it's not because of anything. It's a relationship. And we don't need to have a relationship with everyone in our business, but with the team that we are going to work together, grow, and our what we call the inner circle. That is the absolute number one. As far as myself, in my 30 years of experience, 20 years corporate, 10 years entrepreneurship, it's been relationship, like in real estate, location, location, location. Relationship. I could say a good example. I met Dr. Natalie from Los Angeles Tribune, thanks to Mo Rock and the whole team there. And then we created a friendship. I never forget my first, I always have these conversations with people, and it's not get to know anything, it's just have conversation. And I remember I have the paper, but she told me everything. From that, we created friendship. From friendship, we did a couple of projects together, in Los Angeles Tribune, the first one with Mo, and then and she invited me to some opportunities. I invited her with our actually Michelle Wilson, our other soul sister here, with her and Axel, and then that in 4 years, that friendship conversation turned into professional business relationship. Now she's our chief host, running our very elaborate what we call foundation showcase, our VP media. So, and she's actually the one who introduced Dr. Barrett, which is going to do podcasts with us, right, and much more. And then also she's the one who introduced Mark Borough here, which is I want to say he's a financial curator, right? And this is why I emphasize, when you have something in common with somebody, when you have such a magic, you don't know why, you just talk to somebody and you felt good, because you have a lot in common. It's the frequency, right? And when you have that soul mate effect, that is a person you want to have a team. That's a person that after your relationship, wow, now they can be part of my organization as I'm going to be part of their organization. And when you always have this win-win approach, and yes, there are times that we have objectives, we do things by the agenda, we do it, because we have to reach quota, raise money. But all the other times, a relationship is based on two people sharing values, respect. And is it always going to be perfect? No. Actually, relationships, if they're authentic, is going to be with respect. It's going to have times that, we have disagreements, don't see eye to eye, that's fine. In our firm, 901 Enterprise, some of our partners, sometimes I see something A, they see Z, and that's okay. There's two ways to look at it. And at the end of the day, we are really focused on the result. How we get there, it's okay. Sometimes we put our ego away. Just as thank you for bringing this up, because one of the biggest hurdles. And the reason people don't get to next level is having a wrong team. Everyone's amazing. It's just that they don't see the value, the vision, the mission, and the philosophy of the company, or we haven't properly educated them. And it doesn't work. And then there's a clash, and then it affects other areas. So as you go forward with expansion of your, today we talk about foundation, finding the new teammates, finding the new ambassadors, finding the new partners, finding the new people can get you to your objective. Make sure if it's possible, sometimes not possible. Some people are very high level, part of this, part of that, they're busy. You can have a relationship, but when you can have a relationship, have the relationship, because the relationship tells you if, oh, wow, I love this person as a friend, but because of certain, we don't have certain things in common, and it's okay. I cannot have them part of my business. So friend, yes. Professional relationship, no. Or reverse. I can do business with them, but friendship, relationship is not going to work. And that's okay. In business, you have a choice. Okay. It's objective. It's not emotional. And is it always perfect like the way I said? No. But most of the time, when you use these kind of tactics, you have a better result, as a lot of people here, as Connie and Astrid and Natalie and everyone have a good team. I have met a lot of your team, inner circles, partners, and all of you understand the power of synergy, mindset, and win-win relationship. I really want to emphasize on this team building aspect. Thank you, Natalie, on that one.
Anytime. And this is perfect because this was like the full stop at the end of the sentence. So this is how we create, run, organize, plan a foundation, follow our dreams, our missions. And now the next question is, again, an individual question. So I'm going to kick some people out. I like having the power, can I say that? Because I want to ask everybody individually about their legacy. And I believe that some of you are about having to head out. So I'm going to start, if I can. I cannot kick you out, Regino. I'm really trying to kick you out. Where are you? You're always gone. There you are. I'm going to kick you out for a moment. Okay. So I want to start with Astrid, because I know that she is also in a location where she might have to run. Astrid, for the final question today, we know what you hope to achieve with Depeche. We know you live it every day. When you think about your legacy, what would you like your legacy to be, if there is one? Or, as we sometimes say, when you go to the next world, what would you like to be remembered for?
Yes.
Oh, hold on. That was the wrong one. I did not mean, I meant to kick me out. Please go ahead.
Yes, for me it is important that I can look in the mirror and that
She just freeze, or did I freeze?
Oh, she's froze.
Okay, she just froze. Hold on. I'm coming back in. Okay, let's see. Yep, she froze for a second. I know that she is at a Congress, so there might have been some internet issues. No worries, this is called live TV. If you watch this on one of the big TV stations, you have lights fall down, you have, lots of things happening. So I'm going to put her over here for a moment. And I will keep an eye on when she comes back, because I know that she is thinking about her legacy. So Connie, I got you now, Connie. You're not Connie. See, this is the energy of today. I was talking with Ashkan about that yesterday. We could not get anything done yesterday on the computer. It just would not work. Okay, I'm sorry, Regina. See you in a moment. Yes, it works. See? Magic. Just got to go with the flow. And I see some of my friends are laughing about me, but that's okay. Connie, legacy, you're living it, you're creating a movement that is dear to your heart. So, you know, what do you want to have on your tombstone? What do you want to be remembered for? And who do you want to be remembered by?
Well, it's really interesting because I go through this exercise a lot with our talent, you know, with some of the young adults that we work with. So I actually have her written out. So I want my legacy to be that she was an inspiration to countless individuals, bestowing upon them the invaluable gift of believing in their dreams and going after those dreams. That's the biggest thing. And who I want to know that is really my family. And I mean, I talked about finding about the adoption. I met my real family, and I wrote a poem for that. So if I could just take a minute to share that, because that's also a part of it, and then the healing process that we've all gone through for this, and the healing process that I want so many of our young adults to be able to process and go through themselves, because it could be, you know, painful at times to do that. But I just want to be that example and show them that you can work through this. So this poem I actually wrote for my birth mother after I found all of this out, and I wrote it for her on Mother's Day. And it's, for a long time I hurt inside, but no more. For a long time I was confused, but no more. For a long time I did not feel, but no more. For a long time I did not cry, but no more. For a long time I did not trust, but no more. For a long time I felt sorrow, but no more. For a long time I did not believe in me, but no more. For a long time I did not think I deserved more, but no more. For a long time I did not know how to love, but no more. For a long time I did not love me, but no more, not no more. And this is what I want these young kids, and it's not just those in foster, but anyone that has gone through that struggle, to know that they are loved. And we talked earlier about a contract, and that's part of the program that we do as well, that we have them do a contract with themselves and how they're going to love themselves. And through that, they'll have greater opportunities for themselves and those around them as well.
Thank you. No more.
No more.
And you know, I think that goes to the heart of many issues of today, which everybody may disagree with me, which I tend to title self-love and self-confidence.
Yes.
It's been stripped away from many, but especially those, of course, going through hardships, whether it's foster care, whether it's growing up in not so good economies, and with fewer chances. So thank you for that, Connie. Really appreciate that. I'm going to kick you out for a moment. Don't worry, you'll be back if I find you. Yes, if I find you, we'll have. I do want to, before I go to Regina, I have not forgotten you. Astrid just sent me a note. Her battery is empty. So it was not the internet. It was actually the battery that died on her while she is out there living her legacy. So I'm going to tell you what she wrote me in her own words as what she would like her legacy to be. And yes, I'm going to show off my language skills. I'm going to say it first in German and then in English. Okay? So, Astrid Ahrens sagt, ich will in den Spiegel schauen und sagen können, dass ich alles in meiner Macht Stehende getan habe, um die Welt zu einem besseren Ort zu machen. Für uns alle und alle nachfolgenden Generationen. Für unseren Planeten gibt es keinen Plan B. Okay, that was for Regina and myself. Now in English, okay, this is what Astrid Ahrens wants to be remembered for, and I'm putting it into her words, imagine quotation marks. I want to be able to look in the mirror and be able to say, that I did everything I possibly could, everything within my power to make this world a better place for us and for all coming generations. There is no plan B for our planet. So that is Astrid Ahrens for you. And she would have delivered it much more nicely than I did, but I tried. Which brings me to Regino. Yes, I did find you. And I'm adding you. Regino, you've been very patient with me. Thank you. I'm kicking you in and out.
Not any case for that. All fine.
So, Regino, for you, the same question. You've mentioned you're involved in Voice Aid, Depeche, you've had other things. You've mentioned going out in Berlin or other places and seeing homeless people, seeing kids, seeing immigrants. What do you want to be remembered for, and by whom is the question?
As first, I have to say I'm completely agree, of course, with Astrid's words. And she took some words of that, what is really inside of me too. But let me detail it somehow. You know, we have this anthem, that credo that we are going forward. We are one. It can be defined, this we are one can be defined in so many ways. What I mean at the end is with that, when I speak that out and when I work my whole life for that, we are one should be a living path. What means all people should be equal, not somehow. We are equal, no matter of where we are from, no matter who we are, and no matter what kind of different religions or whatever we're going through. And I would love to be finally, at the end of my life, recognized as someone, as a part of this move. A part of this move with so many others going forward to make that happen. That we have much more empathy for others, that we have much more understanding for each other, and going the things together. Because yes, and now I come back to that words from Astrid, we have not any plan B for the world. And of course, each sustainability movement goes forward, even with humanity in the highest level to live.
Wow. Okay. Wonderful. And I'm now finding myself. Awesome. Thank you. So we're talking about humanity. We're talking about, you know, adding our little piece to it. And in that seems to be the common theme today: humanity and collaboration. And what we just heard Astrid, Regino, and Connie do, I invite you to do the same thing. Many coaches say, you know, think about what do you want to be remembered for? And that then becomes really your living legacy, because if you live it today, you ensure that you will be remembered for that. And it doesn't have to be huge. It doesn't have to be, you know, I was on Broadway, or I had $1 million. It doesn't have to be like that. And Dr. Harbin said it so nicely in her video. It can be just at home. You know, if you're creating a loving, peaceful home, that has ripple effects as well. So when we're talking about legacy, when we're talking about living legacy, it's really about what do you do today? And in that, I want to acknowledge everybody who has been participating today, either, you know, on the stage or behind the scenes a little bit. You made time for this. Hopefully it added a little bit to your growth. Hopefully you had some ideas, and hopefully you made some connections. But just by making time today, you invested in yourself. And I know you all have a lot of other things to do, and hopefully you were able to do some while we were talking as well. Sometimes we do need to multitask. But we have amazing people right now here as the not spotlighted guest. It doesn't mean that they will not be spotlighted at another time. Whether it is Christopher, Nee, whether it's Barrett, who I briefly brought up, or Aaron, who has mentioned he also is a podcaster, or the mompreneur. She has a podcast, a video show, and she's highlighting moms, moms and entrepreneurs. Those are important issues, and you don't have to have a podcast. No, you can contribute by joining Born Life. You can contribute by joining Voice 8 or Depeche, G100, all of those. You can just support them. And if you don't have money or the time to do a lot, share their video. Let somebody know that, Connie is working on this thing. That means you are also living your legacy because you're doing all you could, as Astrid say. We all can do different things. They don't have to be huge, but we can all do something, and whatever we do within our power is what really matters. And I've sort of been speaking about legacy, but I want to have the last few words actually by the legacy architect, because we're living our legacy by all we do. And 90210 is Ashkan Tabibnia. So Ashkan, any final words for living a legacy today? And thanking everybody here just now for making the time to be part of this today.
First of all, we all want to thank you. And people, you should know that if you see our eyes with me and Natalie goes here and there, me and her are actually behind also she's actually my technology coach too. So I was doing the chat. I actually shared on Facebook, LinkedIn, the YouTube. And, so also she was handling. So, wow, my first behind the scene, and I really enjoyed it. That being said, number two, we want to thank our presenters, Lady Astrid and Mr. Regino from Voice 8 and Deepesh, Connie, my dear friend from Born Life, and of course, Dr. Harbin and Jennifer from G100, also Lady Maria. The way Natalie says, I don't know how to say it in Spanish, Maria.
Maria Dolores.
Yeah.
My brother lives in Spain. I should be able to say it.
Zorro. And Maria Dolores, with her beautiful human contract that it's really needed. It's just basic. And also, of course, we missed Johannes, but again, I read about him, and I have it such a liking about animals and somebody for me to follow. So thank all of you that you came and you you shared some of your own experience and how it got you guys to start your own legacy, passion, mission, and how you're continuing, and also sharing some of the nuggets and the advice that when it gets tough, how do you pick up and how you get up and continue, right? We shared a lot of that knowledge. And also I want to thank some of our my close friends and colleagues, like Michelle Wilson. Michelle Wilson to me is like another pillar, like Natalie here. She wrote about my mother. Today actually, the reason I'm doing these foundations mostly for me is for my parents, to the legacy of my father that actually was disabled, was blind. I know that we have Odo here that is also blind, disabled, but he was here with us sharing podcasts, and he's somebody we're going to showcase soon. And also about my dear mother. That being said, I want to tell you guys that with 90210 Enterprise, after 3 years of hard work, we are launching in January. And 90210 Enterprise, we don't know how to word it, but it's really a business community that is local, national, international. And it's really over 30 years of our experience in corporate, entrepreneur, and foundations. So we bring all the pro and cons and the experts to bring all these people together so they can benefit from each other. Entrepreneurs are artists, right? And sometimes they need to monetize. So we bring some of these corporate solo guys to tell them about maybe one idea they have or one way of life that they can monetize. And foundations really not has to do with that too. It's really like how you live a legacy and legend. And when you create a foundation, it says it's called a foundation, right? That's why with 921 Enterprise, uh, we are here today for the first time. We have already also started our foundation, and nationally, it's going to be 921 Foundation. That is going to go hand in hand with 921 Awards, and we're going to be launching that in March. I have one of our partners here, Chief Bailey, that actually I showcased yesterday. He's another brother, with Michelle and Chief Bailey. We were working together a year or two, and now Chief Bailey also works with me with Mandatorium. Mandatorium is our partner that when you guys want anything media, multimedia, that who they are, he's running it. He's running the whole platform. You guys want to know more about that, actually approach him. But why did I mention his name? For those of you who want to go back and look at my expose of who is Chief Bailey, he was a 30-year police officer, a servant, right? And so humble, right? A police officer, and to be so humble, so sweet. How can you be? And he was the president's bodyguard, two of them, and senators. And then from that bestseller, humanitarian, and he's so quiet, but he's part of 4 or 5 big organizations aside from his own. So I was thinking, I was deliberating who I want to make the chair of the foundation, because foundation to me is the epitome of essence of my parents. How do you celebrate? For me, when we do foundations, my cause is going to be blindness from my father and also women empowerment for my mother, right? And then we're also going to have other causes we're going to be showcasing and celebrating. So he is actually, for first time, we chosen to be the chair of our foundation that is upcoming. And he's also going to be one of the recipients of our 921 awards. Now, going back to the topic today, I want to bring it back to Natalie. And really, today was a very good way, personal, interactive conversation, roundtable, and people. And I'm going to have this video ready for people. If you are already good with your company or organization, and you're already helping people, you're already volunteering with other organizations, you should think about, ask yourself, I am doing my business or my organization, I'm very happy. How can I expand? It's time for a lot of people to think about creating, and again, check in your own country about the rules and regulations. How do we start an organization, sorry, a foundation in USA? We'd be happy to help you. It's very easy, and it starts by, the cause that is dear to your heart. You might have 3, but start with 1. And then you write the mission and vision, and then you get experts to create Michelle Wilson here, momopreneur. She has a whole background in company. She's helping me with our 921 Enterprise company to be established actually today or tomorrow. Can go back to her and start the foundation. And then you can also be like one of our wonderful experts today. And when you have a foundation, again, I'm going to repeat, it's not a competition. It's not an organization. It's not for profit. It's a way that actually gives you authority now that you give anyway. So it's going to be a proper way to do it. And also, this is how you can bring some of the people when you offer them some of your services from your business and things, it doesn't work out. They don't want to come. And it's okay. It's a business decision. But when you offer an opportunity, example, we are in women empowerment. We are in sustainability. And you when you go around and you do these talks, expose and podcasts and all the things we covered, they come, they see you, they hear your call. I mean, because it's dear to heart. A lot of people, when it comes to their children, their family, their cause, their religion, guess what? They don't calculate. They like to donate. They like to support. So there are a lot of those goodwill people out there with the right funding that I just want to make sure they're out there, and you don't need to look for them. What you need to do is be very clear and comfortable who you are, what is your message, what is your mission, and when you have your foundation, you just you attend such a specific highlighted showcases on foundation. You do talks, and guess what happens? Like Connie, that is also again starting another. I know as a secret because she told me she's really expanding her. She's a mammoth in this area. She's going to put probably 70 to 80% of her energy into her foundation. And then you know what happens? Then when you get up in the morning, you say, you know what? my company, I have for profit. But you get excited because now you have a foundation that is dear to your heart, and also other people are finally are giving you the right support. And sometimes for them it's a privilege for you to achieve your objectives, and some of the people who are busy and cannot have opportunity to have foundations, they can also achieve their spiritual objectives by investing, supporting in you and your foundation. So I'm very happy to be part of this today. I want to again thank Dr. Natalie Forrest for this. She was, as usual, she was really a master how put everything together, even with the glitches. She goes like the way she moves, like she's running she's like a conductor in a music orchestra, da 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 da. If you guys want more information about 921 Enterprise, January is our launch. You can actually early bird. We can contact us. We have an amazing team. Axel Tillman, our president. Natalie, our VP. Our extended team. We have Mr. Joseph McGuire, Dan Silverberg, Michelle Wilson. We have an extended team. We have executive council. The way you can join us is ask questions. We have something called 921 Access. That it's not a membership that you can come in. And gives you a lot of benefits. And we also have another thing is called executive council package that you can be part of that. Those are all upcoming. So the way we can bring more of these to you guys is also by you guys asking questions and support our community and our wonderful leaders. And I don't call them teammates, our leaders and wonderful VCs that already, without even launching, have made 921 Enterprise probably one of the most amazing private business community conscious in the world. Back to Natalie.
Okay, back to me. So you've heard everything about 90210 here at the end. And important thing about 90210 is we collaborate. So Depeche, Born Life, Mindatorium, Mompreneur, Bossable Group, it doesn't matter. If we find something that we can collaborate on, and I think that is the big takeaway here today, collaborate. We're all in this together. This is humanity that, I'm going to go dark. Humanity is at stake. So let us improve the world, because it is the world that we share, as Dr. Barrett Matthews and I like to say. And I thank you for your attention. I look forward to connecting with all of you. Thank you, Regina, Connie, Dr. Harbin, Johannes, Astrid, and Maria. Thank you all, and we shall see you next time. Bye.
Thank you.
Thank you. God bless everybody.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, everyone.
Bye.